Welcome back to Knicks Morning Coffee, episode 5. Today I was going to talk about the new list that's coming out with the top 50 players for the upcoming season. And then I decided, you know what, I'm after getting to number 50, then I decided that I'm not even going to talk about that because they had, one poll had Larry Marketing from the Bulls at number 50. And I'm not trying to shade on Larry Marketing, but if he's 50 and Carmelo Anthony cannot get a job, then that means something is definitely wrong. I mean, rather you a Knicks fan, a Carmelo fan, just being an NBA fan, and Larry Marketing is one of the 50 best players for the upcoming season, and Carmelo Anthony can't get a job, then well, something ain't right. So then I started thinking about, I saw something, I think it was maybe last year, or maybe even 6 months ago, about some of the people that Melo have gotten fired. Now, some of it I seen, and then some of it is just my own theory. But some of the coaches that Melo have gotten fired over years, they have ties to each other. And those kind of blood ties run deep, especially the ones that have North Carolina University ties. You know, them guys, they don't forget nothing. And somewhere along the line, they're going to pay you back. So we're going to go back first to him being in Denver when his coach was Jeff Bezdelik, something like that. And I had read months ago that it was Melo in Denver who got him fired from the Denver Nuggets. And at the time when he got fired, it was something where his marriage was getting rocky, something with some of his finances, lost a lot from losing that job. And then I guess he just never forgave Melo for that. And then I'm going to tie that in later on. And then the other one is Mike D'Antoni. Now, we know in the Knicks, Mike D'Antoni and Melo didn't see eye to eye. And, even though the Knicks, they gracefully let him bow out by letting him walk away and resign, but he was going to get fired. And that was supposedly because of Melo. And D'Antoni never forgot that. In fact, some say D'Antoni don't never forget nothing. So when it was talk last year that Melo was going to go to the Houston Rockets, you remember that became right after free agency started. The rumors had started circulating that he was leaving OKC and going to the Houston Rockets and taking the pictures with Chris Paul and James Harden. So D'Antoni didn't want Melo on his team, but he knew that Chris Paul and James Harden was lobbying for Melo. And if he didn't go along with it, and then they start boycotting you, you know how when your best players boycott you, when that was hard to do the rest of your job. So D'Antoni had to publicly accept Melo. Now, Bezdelik had stepped down from Houston, and part was believed that when he started hearing whispers that Melo was trying to come to Houston, and remember what Melo did to him in Denver, and Bezdelik was Houston's assistant coach and defensive guru. So, that stayed in the back of his mind that I don't want nothing to do with this guy. So he steps down. So now we fast forward to Melo getting hired. And all of a sudden, and he averaged a little over 13, which by the end of the season probably would have been up to about 20, because it was partly due to Melo's efficiency on the ball. Too many misses. But still not enough to get let go after 10 games. I mean, 10 games in the NBA, don't nobody get guys on 10-game contracts don't get let go after 10 games.
Shoot, I played 10 games on 2K.
Yeah. See, they get another 10-game contract. So Melo was let go because when your defensive guru steps down for any team, it's a drop-off. So those defensive concepts that teams use. So now they want Bezdelik to come back. So he's not coming back with Carmelo Anthony on the team. So I guess management must have, put their heads together and say, listen, it's more important than having Melo. It was nothing about we looked into what it would be the year round, how Melo would end up finishing with our team and his shooting percentage. And no, that's crap. this guy, he'll come back as long as Melo's not there. So then Melo's out the door. And then also the ties with George Karl, the problems he had with Melo in Denver, and Melo being partly responsible for him leaving Denver. And if you remember back when Melo was with Denver, they had a clip that used to show on one of their practices where he's yelling, he's really yelling at Melo, but he's directing to the team that you're either going to pass it, shoot it, drive it, kick it, but don't hold on to the ball. That was his rant. And that was really directed towards Melo way back then. So those guys, they don't forget. So Bizdelic comes back, and then Melo's out after 10 games. So it is a conspiracy through the coaching ranks, because coaching is a fraternity in its own. Same way the players got their own fraternity, the coaches have their own fraternity. But then we cannot forget that I think, now this is my own theory, one of the main reasons why the league has closed the door on Melo, and I'm going to take you back to Jeremy Lin and Linsanity. Because Linsanity, the NBA made so much money worldwide off of Jeremy Lin. You know, I mean, remember the All-Star game, he might have played like 5 games, and all of a sudden he's an ambassador for the NBA through the All-Star game. Like, they couldn't put him in the game, so they had him out there doing all this promotion stuff. So the money that they lost, because I guess Melo was due to Linsanity, you know, dying down the way it did, you know, by not, as they say, not accepting Jeremy Lin. So that was money that they lost, and future earnings that they was looking at while they were promoting Linsanity, and then that just blew up in their face. Because I guess once it got out, and Amari even had his own thing to say, and Tyson Chandler, about some of the players not responding, and they was talking about Melo not responding to Linsanity. So now the league, all this stuff that they were planning to do in the future, then that was over, you know. And then you know they blame Melo for that also. So now they just have one little excuse. That's all you need to just blow the whole thing up, and then get Melo out the door. And all this LeBron James and being friends with the Lakers, and no, LeBron can't get Melo on the Lakers. I mean, the Melo, by now he would have been there. And now you see Dwayne Wade is out in LA, and he's going to be practicing with LeBron before the games. He's going to be on the Lakers before Melo. And the Brooklyn Nets, we can scrap the Brooklyn Nets, because they already brought in 2 other people on low contracts, and they still trying to figure out if they may even bring in Lance Thomas. So Melo is not going there either.
That was real. I thought that was fake.
No, ain't none of that fake. They're going to find anything they can to keep Melo out of the league. Now, personally, I hope I'm wrong, and I hope Melo get into the league. But if Melo don't get into the league, then I guess we're going to see Melo more on those yachts. Or heck, I think keeping up with the Kardashians, he can go over there with Kanye and be seen. But as far as the NBA, I hope I'm wrong, but I don't think we're going to be seeing Melo anytime soon in the NBA. So with that said, and too, thanks for the love. Thanks for people tuning in. Appreciate that. But like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Peace.